Hello everyone, welcome to another Power Talk with Archana. Today we are talking about an army of women and men empowering women worldwide. We are talking about United Nations women. Listen to and believe survivors, teach and next generation and learn from them. Call for the responses and services of fit for purpose. Understand consent. Learn the signs of abuse and how you can help. Start a conversation. Stand against rape culture. Fund women's organization, hold each other accountable. I have with me Ms. Kanta Singh. Ms. Kanta Singh has more than 20 years of expertise in transforming women's lives. Ms. Kanta Singh is the country program manager with UN Women, spearheading the national program called Second Chance. The program Second Chance focuses to empower women in the field of education, employment, and entrepreneurship. Under the leadership of Ms. Kanta Singh, the team has a very clear vision of training women to become more easily employable, creating an ecosystem to excel in sports, and to make the most of this second chance by turning them into trained entrepreneurs. Let's give a very warm welcome to Ms. Kanta Singh. Good evening, ma'am. How are you doing today?
Good evening, Archana. I'm doing good. Thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you, ma'am. Absolute pleasure to have you with us on board. Thanks a lot for gracing my show. So, ma'am, we know you and women, they have been really working extensively to empower women, and you have been working from past 2 decades. Many things come into play that help create an ecosystem to bring about that momentum, not only at the regional but also at the national level, to have that effective execution for women development programs. And I'm sure this must have not been a very smooth ride for you. So tell us about your success journey here. Tell us about your thoughts and how you are on your way to accomplish what you started.
Thank you, Archana. It's been an interesting journey to say the least. I started when women's movement was working in two directions. One was that women were still looking at it as a charitable, as a welfare activity. Some women who had money still started working with a view that we have to help the needy. On the other hand, I would say people like me also got very powerful messages from the very beginning that it is not a charitable cause. It's a development cause. It's a human rights issue. So we also got early lessons when we started our careers, and there are many like me who also learned from the previous generation of women activists and women from women's movement uh, who um, who paved the path for us, who also told us that let's take this as a human right issue. It's
Yeah,
not just women's issue,
true.
right? So we started at least I started on a very firm footing where my first job in a formal workplace was Gender Training Institute, which was the first institute of its kind where we were trying to restructure human relations. We were talking about men and women those days when we started, but we trained many officials in the government. We trained government teachers, we trained doctors, we also trained development professionals. So but we were talking about gender and development. It was a new field. I realized that not many people were working with that perspective. Challenges were many. In a training of, say, just to share one example, in a training of 2 days, half a day went where one participant would say men and women are equal. What are you talking about? So uh, I'm happy to say today that today probably there's a better understanding of the differences. Those days people thought that, and everybody, in fact, many of the participants would say, no ma'am, there's no difference, you're just making up these differences. And then we went through the exercise, and after the half day, then that learning started. So from there to where we are today, I think we've crossed not one but two generations, I think. So it's a way forward. Also, we have seen many changes in where women were that time and where women are. So I'm talking about early 90s and from where we are. We have fighter pilots now, right? The things that we used to talk about saying women can do everything, we have seen that happening. that women actually can do everything. It's a powerful journey. It's also very interesting because I have seen the narrative changing from where we were to what we are doing right now. We're talking about women in boardrooms. We're talking about women at the workplace. We're talking about narrowing the pay gap. We're talking about very strongly about reducing gender-based violence. So we have come a long way. However, the challenges remain. We are still far from the equality as they talk about. We are still far away from where we want to be. uh, there are girls still out of school. There are women out of work. There are women who need healthcare and are not getting it. You see Indian parliament, we are 14%, which is the highest so far. We see state assemblies and we are 7% to 9%. And in some states, there's no woman legislative, no member legislator there. So it's a long journey again. We have crossed a road, but there are many roads to be crossed. So very interesting. And I wish I was younger, because I also see the young feminist girls who are pushing the agenda.
Yeah.
Good thing about these times is that we are globally connected. So if something good has happened in one country, young people from other countries also start expecting that probably it will also happen here. So these are very interesting times, but also I'm not going to say that it's going to be a very easy journey, but at least I would say things have become simpler in terms of information, in terms of networks, in terms of coming together for a cause. And I think gender relations are changing,
Yeah.
even at homes, at a workplace. It's not a rosy picture as yet, but I'm sure we have started the journey towards that. And the exciting times. I'm happy to be part
Absolutely.
of this. And today I also want to thank those women who have created this space for us, women who fought for these rights, which we take for granted today. So yeah, I'm very pleased that I started working in this field, and today I'm part of UN Women, which is great.
Absolutely. You're very, very right there, ma'am. As you have started this journey and you have joined hands with UN Women, how has UN Women really created this platform and taking forward the cause to make it such a big global movement? How do you think this support has come forth?
So UN Women is mandated to work to protect women's rights. We are it's a specialized agency of the United Nations which is working towards gender equality. We have a huge mandate to support the governments across the globe in bringing women-friendly legislations, policies, programs, and also allocate budgets for those. So,
Yeah.
and we are present in several countries. In India, we started 10 years back. Before that, it was UNIFEM, and we are working very closely with the central government.
Yeah.
Ministry of Women Child Development is our nodal ministry, but we also work with several other ministries to mainstream gender into their programs. The one of the bigger agendas is on gender responsive budgeting, which also looks at the budget for women specific programs. We also provide technical assistance to many state governments in terms of violence against women, elimination of violence against women, in terms of employment, skilling, and entrepreneurship. We also have technical assistance to central government ministries, also some other departments here. So the idea is to um, make it happen in terms of gender equality, because when UN Women organizations like UN Women works, it is not for one person, it is not for a particular constituency. We are working for the entire generation of women from India, and whichever member country we are in, we work for every woman, every girl. And so these are millions and millions of women that we work for. And we work with women's groups. We also work with women in the most backward districts of the country. So we have kind of we understand that it is not only women from the urban areas, we also represent voices of women from the ground, women from say Raigada districts of Odisha, or
Yeah.
Bara of Rajasthan. So we know what those women are facing, what are their issues, what their challenges are, how can governments help them. So
Yeah.
it's a big task, I would say, but I think UN Women is growing stronger. We are also working with private sector who share our vision, who also share our journey, and are committed to supporting women. So I think it's going to be a huge achievement to connect grassroots activism to the policy level outcomes. So we are very
Yeah.
happy about.
Absolutely. All our support to you, and we completely support this cause, ma'am. I mean, like time and tide, we know waits for none. There are women who have grabbed the opportunity, created opportunities for themselves. Other women creating opportunities for them have really made big for themselves in life. But then there is this program, Second Chance. How does that help women? What is your thought about that?
So second chance education is literally a second chance for the women that we work with.
Yeah.
So in Hindi, we also call it Dusra Mauka. So, and Dusra Mauka means women who at some stage in their lives dropped out of education, or thought about doing something but could not do it. So we are bringing this second chance to those women to do something about their lives. Not that they were not doing something about their lives, they were already doing a lot of work at home, unpaid care work. They were also trying to raise their children, or they are trying to help their mothers if they are young girls. But we want them to realize that there is a chance where they can fulfill their dreams. They can realize their dreams if they had any. So what we're trying to basically do is sell dreams, help them realize those dreams. Saying there is a better world which is available to you if you do these things. If you study, you complete your education, if you want to earn money and you need to, then how do you do that? So we are working in 4 states of the country: Bihar, Odisha, Maharashtra, and Rajasthan, and 3 districts in each state. We are working with some of the most marginalized girls and women who probably had no chance if we were not to reach there. So we are trying to create an ecosystem, as you were talking about, where some girls who dropped out of education can complete their education. They could be linked to skilling, they could be linked to formal markets, and women who wanted, for some reason, they can't go out of the house but would still like to do something. They could start their self-employment or enterprises and earn money. So this, and we are also trying to work very closely with the private sector where girls could go and work. And when you send girls to a formal workplace, you have to work at both ends. Whereas the private sector or the industry is also creating an enabling environment for girls to not only join, but also stay there and also
Yeah.
prosper, also rise in their jobs. So this is what we are trying to do through this program. So the program started in 2018, but the implementation started last year in 2019. As it looks now, the program is going to continue till 2022, but we are hopeful that if we do good work, it will get scaled up. We will probably cover more areas, more geographies, more states, and the women who have been associated with our program are very happy. They are very excited about being part of the program because they never thought this will come to them. um, Also because they were in such backward areas that it's difficult to reach them. So we are actually reaching the unreached. For us, it's very important that we also hear their voices. We understand what they need, and then also take those voices to the policymakers. So we work very closely with the state governments, also
Yeah.
central government, and so that they can also provision for them and can consider them as an important stakeholder. So we are working at different levels, from policy to grassroots, or linking grassroots voices to the policymakers. So it's a very interesting program. Um, there are challenges, again, every program has, but then what are we good for if we are not doing anything for them? So we are trying our best to bring everything that they need. I'm very hopeful that we will get good success in the program.
Absolutely. More power to this program, ma'am, and the efforts that you're putting in. I'm sure is not, it's going to be something very, very fruitful for all of you and all of us. And we will definitely contribute in having a better economy with more and
Thank
more women representation across. Great, ma'am. Ma'am, so, we would really want this message to reach out to the people about second chance so that we can create more and more awareness for people to benefit out of this and come out from their cocoons and actually use the second chance. So, what is your message to the people, how they can make their contributions from their homes and give more and more momentum to second chance?
So, Archana, there are three kinds of people that I would like to send messages to. One is the program participants,
Yeah,
women and girls who work with us. Um, so, not that we have been able to reach every woman who needs to be reached. Uh,
yeah,
there are women who we haven't reached because we are working in a limited geography. I want to appeal to them, basically appealing to them, saying, Here is a chance. Please,
yeah,
please come and join us. Please tell us what you want. Please help us shape the kind of initiatives that you want us to. And we'll be very happy to support you. And there are people out there who will be willing to listen to your story. So one message is to them saying, and nobody should be telling anybody that there's a limit to your dreams, or your dream is too big or too small, and you have no right to do it. Even if the parents are saying it, girls, particularly young girls, should come out and say, no, I am capable of doing it, and I'm appealing to them if they could be part of the program.
sure.
My second message would be to the people who are working or who are in a position to do something about these people, these women. So they could support in terms of monies, whether it is CSR, or it is a grant, or it is any initiative. If they have any idea which can change women's lives, if they have any technical expertise, if they want to share with us. So there's not just one way that people can help. There are 200
Yeah,
ways through which people can help others. And we are looking for ideas, we are looking for support, we are looking for funds to reach out to more and more girls and women. So people, even if they're sitting at home, they can still do something about it. And many people have reached out to us, by the way, Archana, that there's a group of young bankers who reached out to me the other day saying they would like to mentor young girls. And that's a
wow,
fantastic thing. If they don't have money to give because they are very young, all of them themselves are setting up their homes. If they want to spend 2 hours in a month mentoring with young girls, it's fantastic. We will be very happy. There are people who are saying we have a new curriculum which is 21st century skills, and we would like to work with you. And they're not charging us any money. They are helping us to reach out to more girls and train them. There are people who also want to support in terms of funds. So we have reached out to many people who could help, but that's not enough. More and more people are expected to help women, and I'm appealing to them if they could be, if there's anything, new idea, new technology, new initiatives or collaborations or funds, will be very happy to take that. Third is to policymakers. If there's
yeah,
any government official who's listening to us saying, time has gone when we are talking about women as beneficiaries. We want to send the message that women are contributors. They're already contributing to the economy. Unless you use the talent of 50% of your population, the country will not reach its potential. And so please make it mainstream, make it, don't use women as afterthought. They are very
Wow.
much part of the system. Please
Wow.
allow women to contribute. Don't look at them as beneficiaries of programs. Uh, we
Lovely.
should think of women as income taxpayers, and for that you will have to do something about. So these are the three messages that I want to send to three different stakeholders. But and there's global audience where I can say that second chance education program is one program where everything is welcome. If somebody wants
Wow.
to spend 5 hours in the field understanding women's issues and contribute something there, we will provide that. So it's a great chance for experts, for senior officials, for private sector players, for a senior executive in a company to see to see and come and see what is happening there on the ground. So we'll be very happy to give that exposure. So that's what
Lovely.
I.
Lovely. Absolutely amazing, ma'am. I think this is really wonderful. It's just about one thought and then one step that you need to take to make this happen. And we really appeal to everyone who's listening to this interview. It's really important to step forward without an invitation because it's our responsibility, like theirs. So it's everyone's responsibility to make sure we come forward and take that first step and help one another, empower one another. Because as Ms. Kanta Singh very rightly said, let's not treat women like beneficiaries anymore. They are taxpayers, they are contributors. And trust me, if we have more and more women participation across different verticals at the government sector, private sector, we will definitely grow multifold into trillions and trillions worth of our economy. Lovely, amazing. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks a lot for gracing the show. Thanks a lot for giving us a chance to understand what the Second Chance program is all about. I'm sure many will understand this and come forward and hold our hand to promote this big change in the life of many women. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Archana. Thank you for the opportunity to share my program and share about you and women. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Wish you a
Thank you.
great life ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.